Hello everyone, welcome to Brenda's Brush Strokes and Bisque, painting live on Thursday, April 22nd at 7 p.m. Central Time. And on Thursdays we paint our subscription bisque boxes that are mailed at the beginning of the month. And we are currently finishing our March box, which is our spring rabbits. And these are our finished pieces. So we can set those aside. And we will have show and tell tonight at the end. We got a bunch of things to show you guys from our April box, our May box, and what else? A few other little extra things, so we'll be doing that when we're done tonight. So last week we worked on our blue guy, and you guys wanted to learn how to do the plaid, so we kind of jumped ahead in our directions and did our plaid. So I'm going to have to look at my directions here because I didn't get to Courtney's extra early. I had to do some volunteer work at our rose garden today, so that took a little time out. So we had our dry brushed our bibs with navy, then bright blue. We did that. And we're going to take a drop of white and add a smaller drop of bright blue and mix that to do our little bit of highlighting. So we will do that. So let me see, I got to read that again and actually pay attention to what I'm reading. So number 5 is take a drop of white. Tablet's out there. So I have white OS 431. And we'll get just a little drop because we're not going to be doing a big piece and we don't need a whole lot of it. So we're going to put our pink one aside here. And then we're going to add a drop of our bright blue to that to create our own highlighting shade. So Courtney, we had white OS 431, a drop. And now we're going to take our bright blue, which is our OS 459, and make our own shade of lighter blue to highlight with. OS 459. And we're just going to add a drop of that to our white. Hopefully. So it looks like I'm plugged up here, or the cap actually broke off inside there the way it looks, so I'll have to take the top off. So I'm going to carefully add a little bit of blue, bright blue. So we'll screw that back on, and we'll take our palette knife. And that you guys got in your January box, so we can mix that up and make a lighter shade of our bright blue. So you usually want to take your white and add your color to that, because that way you don't make such a big pile. Because if I would have put the blue down first and added white to it, it would have took a ton of white and I would have had just way too much color. And whenever you're mixing your colors, you do want to make sure you mix enough because it's usually hard to make the exact same color again. So I think we got more than enough there. And you can see that's a little bit brighter than our bright blue that's on our bibs, but it's in that same family, so that's a good color coordinating. So I'm going to go with just my round, I have a round size 5 dry brush. I'm just going to go into the edge of my highlighting color and brush it out on my paper towel a few times because I don't want a lot of paint in there. And I like to start on the back, so if I have too much paint, it's not messing up the front right off the bat. So now we want to highlight kind of just those carved edges a little bit. So I'm just going to brush real lightly on there and get it a nice light highlighting on it. So we had our navy was our dark color, our bright blue was our medium color, and now our highlighting color we made with our bright blue and our white. And so I would have done our plaid after, so I didn't get any of this on there, but I'll just be careful and hopefully I won't have to touch it up at all. And you want to go across any crevices, like between his legs instead of with the crevice. If you go with it, you're going to fill it in. And we want to keep those darker colors down in there. That's our shading down in those darker areas where you wouldn't be getting as much light. So we're just going to work our way around here back to the front. And get the little straps on the other side here. And it's okay if you get it on the watering can because we'll be covering that up when we get to that color. So you can make these as bright of a blue as you want or leave them more dark like a brand new denim. It's totally up to you what you like. So I'm just brushing on my little blue jeans here and giving them another shade of color, which kind of really brings out that carving that's done on them, that whittled look. And then I like a little bit more across the top of the bottom of the pants so that kind of like the light's really shining on them and maybe they're just a little bit brighter down there. And we'll get a little more on this side. And when you have brush strokes like that, it's too wet, you want to brush that out again. So now I'll have to bring up the area around it so it's a little bit brighter. And we'll come back around to the back. And we'll get the bottom on this side a little bit. So it's like the light is hitting that ruffled up area a little bit more than the rest of it. And then I usually get his butt a little bit brighter. Seems like the jeans are usually a little bit more worn on the butts. So we'll kind of do that with him too. And a little more on his straps here. So did you bring the tablet, Courtney, or are you still working on it? Okay. Do we have any questions? So welcome everyone that's joining us tonight. So add a little more here to the bottom of those jeans. And you want to do several layers instead of one big heavy layer. That gives you just your better shading and nice soft shading to it. Okay, so we got that done. So our next number is number 6, paint the buttons bright blue and the strings baby blue. So we're going to get our bright blue, and my cap is broke, so we'll have to just get a drop of it because we just have buttons to do. And then I'm going to use a liner. I'm going to use my 4595. And when I'm loading my paint in my liner, I like to draw my brush through it and then turn it like a quarter turn, and that'll put a point on your brush. It's actually a good idea to dip that brush in water first and then kind of condition it so all the paint doesn't go up in your bristles, but I tend to forget that every time. Cordy says I had a delivery this week. Jesus, yep, Jesus was at my front door. And it's the mold that goes with Jesus knocking at the door. Because when we went to Chicago, I debated on bringing it back then or not, and then because we only had so much room, so I didn't, because I thought, well, the door I could use for fairy houses, like to put on stumps and things, or toad house doors, just it was more of an accessory piece. And when I got back, Cordy said, you should have brought Jesus too. So Virginia actually found the Santa insert, which she couldn't find when we were down there. And then she messaged me she had found that. So as long as she was going to send that, I had her send Jesus at the door. So that's a nice little mold. It's not little, it's actually about a 7-inch piece. So we have our buttons painted with our bright blue.
Please ask if that was in Romeoville.
Were you in Romeoville?
When you did Virginia.
I'm not sure. It was Virginia. Her page online is old ceramic fanatics. She's been selling online for a few years, and I've gotten stuff from her before, and she's shipped it. I think she still has her Facebook page. It's called Old Ceramic fanatics, but they were renting a building, and it was west of Chicago, so I'm not sure what little town it was in. Older lady and gentleman, their building was sold, and they had to move everything by the 1st of April, and I didn't think they would get hardly any of it moved, but when I talked to her, she said they actually got most of it moved, so that's really nice, so that they didn't get to the dump. But she does a great job of packing. Her never had anything come broken. And they're usually really good prices online, from a couple dollars to $5, $7 for the molds, and then you just pay your shipping. And like I said, she does do a great job of packing. Her parents had a shop, and then his parents had a shop, and then the two of them had a shop. But I'm guessing they're in their 70s already. So there was a lot. And then moving them, but she said family helped them, so they did get them moved. So there we have his little. Yep, that's her. Okay, very nice couple. Lots of there was a lot of big molds there too, like fountain type things and pedestals and vases and big huge planters. So if anyone's looking for any of that stuff, you could always contact her on Old Ceramic Fanatics. So Cordy added the link, so it is Romeoville. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I just know it was kind of west of Chicago. Oh, she had Smileys. Okay. Yep, she said she was like an hour away from that storage building. And then that land had sold, and it was, I'm guessing, a gas station or something's going there, because it was at an intersection out in the middle of nowhere, and there was one new gas station there, so I'm guessing another one's going up, be my guess. So we got that, so now we're going to dry brush our carrot on both of our bunnies with rust. So we have our Doc Holliday Rust, DH28, Bourbonnais, Illinois. Yep, that's the name of the town, yep. Bourbonnais, I don't know if that's how you say it, but yep, that's the name of the town. Really nice lady, nice molds. Older molds, but stuff you don't see a lot of today, but that's nice. So we actually got vases and planters. What else did we get? We got quite a bit of good stuff from her. So it was well worth. We had a whole truckload. It was worth the trip. A Gear Unicorn music box, but we didn't get the bottom part of the music box because I didn't realize it was part of the castle and the unicorns. If she comes across that, we'll be getting that from her. The turntable and the music box bottom, but we do have the castle and the unicorns. So now I'm dry brushing my rust onto my carrots. When I'm on the edge here, we want to not do big brush strokes and get that rust all over our pants. So, and I have a size 3 flat, because I can turn that on its edge if I need to for nice skinny areas. So I'm just doing my C strokes, and I start away from my blue jeans and I work closer and closer to them till I can see where that rust is going on, and then I leave just a little bit of my brown down in that crevice between the carrot and the blue jeans, and then I'll work my way all the way around it. So we'll get that on there. She did have one mold. It was a caboose, and the I forget what the other piece was, the coal car. And we were at our limit as far as what we could get in the truck, so I only got the caboose to make into a bank, but she didn't have the engine anyway, so, and it was an old Glenview mold, and those are really, would be a slim chance if we ever came across the engine, but I did get the caboose.
I need a name for the Maybox.
Cordy says she needs a name for the Maybox. And the Maybox will be showing you at the end of... Oh, Cordy says I should show you guys now instead of later, so you can come up with a name for our Maybox. But I'm just dry brushing my rust on my carrot on my guy here. Once I get back around, I'll show you our Maybox. So I can turn my brush on its edge if I have a little area I need to get into. So that's kind of why I like the flat brushes. So like I can get up in between the jeans and his little arm here just by turning that flat brush on his edge. So you don't always have to use that brush on its wide part. You can turn it on its edge, which is kind of nice. So I have actually been using flat brushes a lot more than I used to. Really for the little detailed areas. So we'll set him aside, and now Courtney brought us our May box. So here is our May box. It is Boris and a mushroom. So that is what you're getting in your May box. It's Boris and a mushroom. And then we do have the other gnomes that go with him that you could add to the box. So if anybody has a cute little name for Boris and his little toadstool here, post it in your comments, and maybe we can do a drawing or something to give something away. How's that, Courtney? Sounds good. So post some ideas for Boris and the toadstool for our May box, because Courtney's doesn't have a name for Boris and the toadstool. Huh?
I have to push the listing live.
And she has to push the listing. So it needs a name before she can do that. So if you guys can come up with a name.
Carrie Clifford. I'll put something cool in her box.
Mushrooms up.
Mushrooms up. That's cute.
I don't know if it's spring. Oh, that's cute.
Cute too.
So that is, and then you might as well give me the other ones as long as we got it. So these are the two that will be coming in your boxes.
If they want extra mushrooms.
And if you want extra mushrooms, you can just message Courtney. But then we do have the other pieces that kind of go with him. We have Hannah the girl. And actually, I don't know these guys' names. One is Morty. He's the guy with the morel mushrooms, and he's kneeling. And then we have the sitting guy, and I'm not sure what his name is either. And do you think you can get all these in one box, Courtney? Because then we, if you can add the extra bisque, and we can, we cover the shipping then, and you just pay she adds that.
For sure 3. I don't know about 4 though.
So Courtney thinks she can get 3 in for sure, but she's not sure about the 4th one. But the 4th one could always go in your next month's box too. So Courtney has a feeling she can get them all to fit. If she thinks that, I'm guessing she'll get them all to fit. Oh, there's a fungus among us. That's cute.
That's a cute name.
Yeah. So this is your May box, the painted ones, and I was hoping to get the other ones painted, but I didn't have time. So it's Boris and the toadstool. And then if you want, you can message us, and then Courtney can add if you just wanted Hannah. That's fine.
The guy kneeling is Morty.
So the guy kneeling with the morel mushrooms is Morty, and the guy sitting. Poppy or Pappy, she says. So he's a sitting guy. So you Pappy?
Yep.
So that's Pappy. And do you have prices on these guys yet or not? So she'll figure that out. But these are, you can add 1 to your box, or you can add all 3 to your box, and then we'd cover the extra shipping on those. So that is your May box. I'll try to get those painted by next week so you can see what the extra ones look like. Whoa! But your May box is Boris and the toadstool. And then your extra in this box is going to be the spoolie tool. And I don't have one here, but we have them ordered. But it's it's called a spoolie tool, and it has 2 different size brushes on each end, and we can use those for cleaning out coals and things. You can even use it for spattering. So that will be the extra in this box. And there's one new color, I think, is gold. Was that the only new color?
Yes.
So gold was the only new color, so there's only one new color as well.
I might have a tough time with a few colors because of Mako. But we can figure out some substitutions or something.
So we still have a few challenges getting the paint yet, and if anyone's watched Michael Harbridge's videos, you know that supply chain stuff is an issue with Mako, but hopefully by the time we get them, we'll be able to get all the colors we need. But that is your May box. So let's see. Marianne likes Hannah. Kathleen says, Gnome, sweet gnome. Gnome's gone wild. Oh, that's kind of cute. So let's see. I don't like gnome. I don't gnome if it's spring. That's cute. So Karen says she missed how we did these stripes. So you can go to last week's video, and towards the end, we did the stripes last week because the ladies were kind of wanting to know last week, so we kind of jumped ahead. But you can go to last week's video and see how to do the stripes. Courtney's going to put the link. So now I'm going to go back to our little girl because she has a carrot too. As long as we have rust in our brush, we're going to rust up her carrot. So we'll get this rusted up. Did you get the mountain vase mailed out or not, or to Susan to the winner, Courtney?
No, but it'll be going tomorrow.
So Susan, you were getting the mountain vase, and Courtney's been sick, but she will be getting it out tomorrow to you. So if you're listening, your vase is on its way tomorrow.
And good news for anybody that wants that thing, it's small enough to fit in my favorite box. So if they're a subscriber, the shipping is $9.99.
So Courtney says the good news about that mountain scene vase is that it does fit in one of the boxes she uses. So you could get $9.99 shipping on it if you're a subscriber. It won't fit in the bisque box with your other bisque, but it fits in a...
Maybe.
Oh, it may fit in the...
It might.
Oh, she says it might fit in there too.
Fit in a bisque box.
In a bisque box. And how much is the vase?
26.
The vase itself is 26. Do you have... Oh, you don't have the painted one here because it's at the classroom.
Marianne, yours is, you just brought her vase.
Yeah.
Can you tell her?
Oh, Marianne, Courtney says I should tell you that I brought your mountain vase today, and she'll be shipping that tomorrow.
I have a lot of shipping to do.
She says she's got a lot of shipping to do tomorrow, so shipping's coming if you're waiting.
Yeah.
I brought a Yeti, brought stepping stones, brought a truck, trailers she's got, so there's a lot of stuff going out tomorrow. So we have our rust on both of our carrots, and now we are going to go to hot orange, which is OS 439 hot orange. So let me see if we got any questions here. So Marianne, your vase is coming out tomorrow. Or you can go in your next box, she says, if you want to wait. So it's up to you. Then you'd get free shipping on it. So, no master, no mainstay. Oh, cute. You guys got good ideas. Alright, so we're going to use our same dirty brush with our rust in it and get some of our hot orange into it. Brush it out on that paper towel, and now we're going to brush that onto our carrot and kind of get that more carrot looking instead of rusty, hard, woody carrot looking. Courtney's, I know I posted yesterday those welcomes. Courtney's going to see if she can figure out a box for those. Huh?
I didn't realize how big.
Oh, now she's telling me she didn't realize how big he was. Okay, well.
He was smaller.
No, they're not small at all. So now we'll go to our other carrot with hot orange. So she might be checking to see if she can, because even though they're tall, they're not real thick. But she may have to order a special box. So we may be able to ship those. We'll have to see. Right now it's just local pickup. If you want them, you can message us and I can get them poured and cleaned and fired if you want bisque. So I have our hot orange on there now. And then our next color is to do highlighting with orange peel. So we have our orange peel, OS 438, and I'll just take a second to show you good color value stuff here tonight, quick. So we have our dark color is rust, our medium color is our hot orange, and our light color is our orange peel. So you can see we have 3 shades of color. So when you're doing pieces, you kind of want to have that dark, medium, light, and light, and not all the same tone of color. So that's why we just did that real quick. So now I'll get my orange peel and use my same brush and kind of work that up in there. So we have a question, do you have other welcomes? We do. We have the large skeleton one, which is kind of the Halloween one. it says hello on one side, or welcome on one side and goodbye on the other side. We have the frog, and we have the raccoon. And then we have the gnome, and Uncle Sam, and then that moose tree. I think those are the only ones we have. I've been trying to add one to each of our Clay Magic orders just to get them. They're expensive to get all at once, so I've just been adding one per order and getting them that way. But we do have the gnome that goes with these. Looks very similar to these guys, and the word welcome is kind of with mushrooms. So he's pretty cool. So you could like have a whole little scene with those guys. But Courtney's got to check on the box for that. So I'll have to get a set cleaned and fired so she can actually pack them and see how they fit. So now I did get orange on my white there, so we'll just let that dry. We don't want to touch that up right away because then that'll smear. So we're just going to let it dry, and then we'll dry brush our highlights on here with our orange peel. And now he's looking more like a nice freshly pulled carrot. So let's else. We got some more questions. Show Maybox again at the end. Yep, we'll show everything at the end again. So, and you can always come back and watch the videos too. They're always there. Actually, I usually watch them when I get home from Courtney's to see what I can do to be a better teacher. Alright, so we got our orange peel on there. Now you can see that orange is on there, but we're just going to let that dry till we're completely done. And he looks a little dark yet, so I'm going to just get a little more orange peel on him. So he looks like he's a good fresh carrot you just want to chomp into. Alright, so we got that done. So now we're going to dry brush the carrot top with Lexington Green. We have Lexington Green by Doc Holliday, DH26, and it's a nice dark green.
I'm out of that, but they can use accent green by
So Courtney says we're out of that, and
they don't have it.
It's not on the refill list. She just looked on Doc Holliday last night. So you could use the Mako's accent green if you need a dark green. So we have just a little area here for these little carrot stems. So I kind of want a littler brush. I'm going to go with a size 3 flat again. And I have my Lexington Green, and I'm going to get that in there. And now again, I'll start away from my edge and work towards it. I don't want to do those big back and forth brush strokes, so I get green all over his pants and I have to touch them up. And just work right around the little carrot top here. Same with the other leaf. So I start away from the edge and then work towards it. I can see where my green is going on, so I know when to stop. So we'll just build up our Lexington Green here. So let's see, we're open at the shop on Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Been trying to pour different things every week to take out there, so try to have new stuff every week. This week I kind of poured big stuff, so it's kind of stuff that wouldn't ship, but if it's smaller stuff to ship, Courtney kind of puts it on our page for you guys to see. So we're just getting our green on our little carrot top here, and now we can go to her carrot top. And this one's got a little green down here at the very top of it. It's carrot, so make sure you don't miss that. Let's see, my cousin Pam and her husband did some yard work for us last Friday. They surprised me and was out there bagging up leaves and cutting the grass, so that was nice because there's not enough hours in my day. Let's see, if you're local, we do have a class planned for Sunday, May 2nd. Doing a mosaic mushroom, and Courtney will get that posted on our page so you can, we'll have to have you purchase ahead of time to reserve your spots. So she'll probably be posting that over the next few days here. Tomorrow her and I have to do taxes or we'll be in trouble with Uncle Sam. so it won't be tomorrow. So we're going to take I think it's a 9-inch snail, and then we're going to mosaic it on Sunday, May 2nd in the afternoon from probably 1 to 4, but we'll be there, plan on being there to 1 to 5, because sometimes it takes a little longer for a few people, so that's what we're working on for that. So that should be a fun day. So there's all kinds of stuff going on all the time. Let's see. Our friends Mary and Tom came out and put new shelving, or rearranged our shelving for our paints, so we have more room for paints. So that was a great project to have done. I'm going to be talking to Paula from Colors for Earth about their paints, because in the past I've used like the Duncan One Strokes or Easy Strokes, Mako or Duncan, whichever brand, the One Strokes and Easy Strokes for airbrushing, and now it's a very limited amount of that's left. And the Concepts and the Stroke and Coats have glass frit in them, so you're not supposed to dry or airbrush with those. So Paula has said that her color concentrates, we can airbrush with those, so I'll be talking to her about her paints. I have to call her this weekend, so that's something else that's going on. So we have people that like to airbrush out at the shop, so we gotta find a source to get a good airbrush paint. So we have our Lexington green on, and now we're going to go to medium green, which is our Duncan OS 463, Duncan OS 463. And you can actually watch Paula McCoy, I think, on Tuesdays on Facebook Live. Not every Tuesday, but some Tuesdays. So if you just like Colors for Earth page, you'll get notices when she's doing lives for different products that she's using. That's actually how I knew they were out there, but I didn't know a whole lot about them. But I was watching her use them, and she does a lot of stroke work, brush work, you call it, where you're using different brushes to do different petals and stems and curly cues and things. So it's a little more advanced class for people. It's actually something I really like, classes that I took those kind of classes when I was in Hawaii, so it's nice to have found someone that does that type of stuff. So we're just getting our medium green on our carrot top now. And she actually has products, enamels and things for glass, so it's kind of a good opportunity to add other things to our classroom too. I don't know that it'll be possible for the bisque box stuff, but we'll see what I learn about her stuff, and hopefully we can maybe carry some of her stuff. Cordy asked if she has non-fired product. I'm not sure. I'd have to dig a little deeper. I know she has lots of glazes for sure. Yep, I love their Harvest. She has a glaze called Harvest Pumpkin, and I love that glaze for their pumpkins, the jack-o'-lanterns, because it looks just like a real pumpkin-y, like a pie pumpkin color. So I have used her glazes in the past, but they do have a lot more products, and it's just always good to get educated on other stuff. So we're just getting our medium green on our little carrot top here, just to bring that to life, like it's a nice fresh little carrot. We're letting our Lexington green down in the crevices kind of, so we have our shading. And from there we will go to our Lime Burst. So we have our Mako Lime Burst, SS376 Lime Burst. So let's see, we got any questions going on? Looks like Courtney's taking care of you guys. Huh?
If I didn't like your comment, I missed it.
Well, so Courtney says if she didn't like your comment, she missed your question. So go ahead and post it again, because sometimes the questions just like fly by. So I'm using my same dirty brush, and I'm just getting my Lime Burst in it, and then brushing it out really good. And now I just want to highlight like the tip or the edges of my little carrot here, so it looks like he's got fresh little tender growth on him. Kind of where the light would also be hitting it. See what's else. Oh, I did take a class on Monday through Mako. It was their gemstones class, and that was with Teddy Wright and Krista, and it was a great class as well. Learned lots of technical information about Mako, from the difference between dinnerware safe and food safe, and they had lots of suggestion on combining, making like your combo glazes in their resource tab that's right on their page. So if you go to Mako and go to colors and resources, there's actually lots of, it's more for the fired stuff that they talked about on Monday, but lots of information about glazes and combining different glazes. So even though, like it seems today like there's so many fewer glazes, but you can actually combine glazes and make new colors. Like one of the things she suggested was to take to take the enamel Dutchware, which is that blue background with the white dots in it, and you could put that on a piece and then put a stroke and coat red over the top of it. And when that fires, your background becomes red, and then you have blue and white speckling on it. So you kind of have a red, white, and blue glaze then. So that's something I want to try. So it was nice just to hear like some updated information as far as class-wise. And even though it was fired stuff, which is great for the classroom, not so much for you guys with the boxes, but I'm sure they'll be going over, they're going to do this every month and go over their products now that they've combined with Dunkin'. So hopefully I'll learn some new things, and maybe something we can share in the boxes as far as technique or something. So I'll keep doing that monthly, because we're going to try to do it monthly. So now we have our little carrot tops with our highlighted liners. So now we are going to paint our watering can silver. Oh, and I guess we forgot to put our phone on Do Not Disturb, so sorry about that. So, and let's see, someone's daughter's getting married on Saturday, Chris's. Well, congratulations. I hope the weather is great and you have a great wedding. So that's awesome. Did you make a ceramic something for them? One of our ladies just made her grandson got married, and she did Connie did a snowman with their name. I cut their name out for them, and then she painted it out. She shared it in the group. So if you've seen the snowman, that was Connie did that. So now I have my little liner brush, and I'm going to go into my silver, which is our Dunkin' UM956 silver. I'm using a liner so that I can paint. I'm actually going to just paint this out instead of dry brushing it. So I'm just going to paint out my silver on my little watering can here, kind of go where the edges are. Come around his little hand. So it's that time of the year for weddings. I think we have a wedding first weekend in June. A step nephew is getting married. Cordy just said she's got one wedding a month all the way through summer.
Maybe like September, I think.
Through September? Well, you're going to be busy.
Yeah. Cousins.
All cousins, yeah. Well, there you go. So we're going to paint out our silver here on our little watering can. You could use other colors, like if you wanted bronze or copper or gold. I just thought the silver kind of went with the blue a little bit better. So I'm just lining that out right along his little jeans. Let's see, Chris says she was trying to find something but haven't found exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah, it can be hard. I know our wedding in June, I don't know if I should make something ceramic for them or not. They're more of the gaming people. I don't know that they're knick-knacky people. Corey says she don't think so. I was thinking a snowman with their name. I mean, that's still always nice. I always think like a nativity set is nice too, but that's kind of a lot of work. unless it's like one color and mother of pearl or something. So we're just painting out our silver on our watering can here with our liner. And it just makes it easier to line it out and get nice straight lines. Any more questions? Anybody got any other questions? Courtney thinks she's caught up. And then because it's just a little piece, I'm not going to switch to a bigger painting brush. We'll just stay with our little nylon brush here and fill it in. Huh? Oh, a snack dish? Yep, that's a good idea. Someone had called and asked one time if I had a huge platter that they could put paint and put a spaghetti recipe, like a family spaghetti recipe on the platter, and then give that as the wedding gift. But we didn't have that big of a platter. I just have some smaller plates. So that's kind of a good hand-me-down type thing too, and plus you're getting the recipe. Saucy wieners, I think it was for. Okay, so the silver you can usually see through, and it'll take a couple coats. So we're going to let that dry and wash out my brush and go to our next color. So we have our silver on. So at this point is where we had returned. We would have done our plaid on our shirt using our thin end shade, which you could just refer back to last week's video, probably the last half of it or the last 1/3 of it. Courtney's got the link on there, so we'll skip that area. So now we can, let me see, we can paint the eyes black. But I'm actually going to go back to our girl and get her to that point so we can paint both eyes at one time. So her carrot is done, and we're going to put some medium brown on we're on number 9, medium brown on our post. So I have medium brown, OS471 for our girl. And we'll get her little birdhouse done while we're waiting for the silver to dry. And I actually dry brushed that, it says. So let me see, I don't have a little brush here. Let's bring some more little brushes, Courtney, some 3s. I have a 5, so I'm going to just go to use that. That'll work. Huh? You're out of them? Yeah. So we're just going to dry brush our medium brown, which is OS471, onto our birdhouse post here. And on the top part of the post. You're probably going to want more like a size 3, but I don't have a clean size 3 here, so we're just going to go with the size 5 that we have. It's kind of worn down anyway, and it's smaller than a true 5. So we're going to get that post medium brown. So we got that on there. And then we're going to put just a little bit of light brown, which is OS467, to highlight it. Light brown, OS467, and you just need a drop of these browns. And I'll use my same dirty brush and go in that light brown, work that in there, and we'll just highlight the front of that post a little bit. We'll give it some more dimension. Okay, so we got that done. And let me see, the birdhouse itself is turquoise. So we're going to go to turquoise now. So we have our deep turquoise, OS468, deep turquoise, OS468. And we're going to dry brush that, or you can paint it, whichever one you want. And we're all over little brushes here. Let's see. Oh, I found one more. So we got a little one here that's kind of worn out, but we'll make it work. This was a 3. And I'll just go into my turquoise. And the top is silver. This little trim here is white, so we just got to get our turquoise on this part of it. And that's kind of a wet brush, but that's okay. Kind of get in that hole just a little bit so you just have that brown shadow deep in the hole. Get down underneath the bottom part here. So this is our deep turquoise, and get down into the side just a little bit. So I have my brush turned on its edge, which that's where those flat brushes come in handy. You can turn them on their edge on them little skinny areas. And we'll work our way around. So I think the first of the month is sneaking in here really fast, the way it seems. I have about half of the mushrooms. Mary and I got those cleaned yesterday, so I'll be firing those. And
after you complete the class, do you wash out your brushes, and what do you use?
So we have a question of, after I complete the painting for the night, do I wash out my brushes and what do I use? Yes, I do wash out the brushes when I'm done. And I usually use, it's suggested to use, not actually use a dishwashing soap, because there's a degreaser in those, and that this hog bristle or boar bristle is a natural bristle brush, so it strips the natural oil out of your hairs in your brushes, so you actually don't want to use a dish soap. Our brush lady suggests to use hair conditioner to use it to wash them out with. Ivory soap to wash them out with. I actually like to use the Murphy's oil soap to wash my brushes out with. And then I rinse them, and you kind of massage that in there, and that'll clean that out. I also have the Harold's brush pad that I put in the bottom, and I just have a little bowl here tonight, but usually that's in the bottom of my bowl of water. And so first of all, we'll have to back up here for a minute. So first of all, when I'm completely done here at the table, I usually have a bigger bowl, and I have this Harold's brush pad, which is just a rubber pad. It's not stiff and harsh. It's not hard on your bristles. So that's in the bottom of my water. And then I brush back and forth on that, and that actually gets the majority of the paint out of your brushes, and we do carry these. They were a freebie in our very first box that we did in July 2 years ago. But it's just a nice rubber pad that's really good, not hard on your brushes. And you brush back and forth, and that gets the majority of your paint out. And then I will go to the kitchen sink and massage a little bit of the Murphy's oil soap and wash them with water. So I can actually show you. Cardi brought a bigger bowl here. So here's my blue brush, which I think we're done with blue. So you can see when I brush back and forth on there, and I'm just going real gentle, how all that, you can see that paint is coming out into the water, and that you're not like beating on your brush. You just want to brush back and forth nice and gentle on that Harold's brush pad, and you can see that cleans that brush right out. There's really no paint left in there. The bristles are stained, but that's just how that is. So I do that first, and then I go to the kitchen sink and then wash them in the sink with a little bit of oil soap, and then rinse them. And then you want that to lay them horizontal to dry. You don't want to do them vertical so that the water runs down into your ferrule and lets the glue loose. So you do want to let them, so I let mine dry overnight horizontal, and then I put them in my brush tray.
Those boxers that can ship for free in there.
So if anyone does want that Harold's brush pad, I think they're $4.99 or $5.99, and then if you're a subscriber, that'll ship for free in your box. As far as the shipping, you can add stuff to your box, and as long as it fits, we cover the shipping on it. But I can show you again when I'm done how dirty that water gets, because it really does take all that crud out of your paint. And then that Murphy's oil soap, it really conditions your brushes really nice too. And then if I have like a nylon brush, I like to groom them and put them at a point when I'm done for the night too, when they're done washing, and that helps. It just helps keep them in good shape too. So, but it's a good idea not to use dish soap on your brushes, because it does have the degreaser in there, and that takes the natural oil out of those natural bristle brushes. So they say like ivory soap or a conditioner or baby conditioner, hair conditioner. So we have our turquoise on there. And now we are going to put just a little bit of light turquoise to highlight it. So we have OS 469. And if you want to get any really good brush information, you can go to Michael Harbridge's page, and he's actually with Royal and Langnickel. And he has several brush videos. He explains brushes, explains cleaning them and care of them. Yesterday he did a real short one about different brushes. So you can go to Michael Harbridge's page and you will be getting correct information as far as how to take care of your brushes and what different brushes are for, because he is with Royal and Langnickel. So that's another good resource for brush information. I think one of his videos he did like a month ago, it explains all the whole bunch of different brushes, from the fan brushes to the dry brushes to the painting brushes, your liners. And it's not a real long video. I don't remember if it's a half hour or so, but lots of good brush information. So, and he has other videos on things, so it's a good resource as well for anyone that needs resources for brushes and things. So we're just highlighting this a little bit now on the corners and on the front with our light turquoise. And from there we can go to painting the roof silver. So I'm going to go back to my silver. It looks like I got it right in the turquoise here, but we'll see if we can get enough. So we're going to paint with our liner brush again so I can get around the edges here. And Michael also does videos on Wednesday nights, and his videos are saved to his page as well, so you can also access those, and they're free. So there's lots of free resources out there, you guys, if you just do a little digging around. So Mako has videos. You can go to the Mako Colors page. Colors for Earth has videos. Michael Harbridge has videos. Arlene's D she had videos, but she passed away this week. She was a Duncan ambassador. Yeah. Yeah. But she has some great videos too. I'm guessing her page is still up. I'm not sure. I would think so. But she did, and there was a lot more fire techniques, but she did lots of cool stuff too with different products, because she was a Mako ambassador, so she's taken a lot of classes over the years. So you can always go to her page for more fired stuff. I know we don't do a lot of fired stuff, but it's mainly because our boxes are based for our subscribers, and the subscribers were based on the fact that people didn't have access to kilns or shops, so that's why we started the boxes. So that's why we do the non-fired techniques in our boxes. And it's not always dry brushing. We do dry brushing. We do other parts from color washing to antiquing. We've used metallic rub-ons. We've used chalks. What else? We've just painted pieces out, like the mushroom last year was just painted out. So it's not always dry brushing. It's basically more of all non-fired techniques, but it is a lot of dry brushing, because dry brushing is kind of the popular thing. Compared to when I started, it was more of painting it something and then antiquing it, or painting it and that's it. So dry brushing just gives your pieces a lot more color and shading. So our videos are more on non-fire techniques, just because that's what our subscription box is really based on. Kind of helping those out that don't have access to a shop, to a teacher, to products. So that's kind of why our box is non-fired stuff. So let's see. Oh, and then we have, there's a group called, what is it, Newbies. What's Pauline's group called, Courtney?
So long her name.
Yeah. So there's another group out there, Pauline and Jessica. They do kind of they've been in, Pauline's been in ceramics for years too, but she has lots of background knowledge as well. So she does, I'm not sure because I haven't been following her much lately, but they have newbies. What is it?
Let's have fun with ceramics and crafts.
It's newbies, let's have fun with ceramics and crafts. So she's got some painting stuff too. That's free stuff, yeah. Let's see, there was someone else out there and I just lost who it was. It was on the tip of my tongue. So there's lots of free resources out there, you guys, even if there isn't a ceramic shop next to you to help you. In YouTube. I have a few people that do send me messages regularly asking different questions. Anything from how to pour to how to join pieces together or whatever. Because there just isn't no one out there to teach people anymore because so many shops have closed. I think the closest shop to us, because now the one that's 2 hours away, it's actually been sold and they'll be closing by July 15th. So I think the closest shop to me right now, there's a basement shop in Little Chute, which is like an hour away. There's a shop in north of us, Country Castings. So that's an hour away, but I'm not sure how often she's open or if it's every day or what it is. Then the next closest shop would be probably Beaver Dam, that area. That's a couple hours away, and then the next one's like 4 hours away. And then there's one up in Chippewa Falls, but I haven't been up there either. That's like a 5 hours away. So that's it for Wisconsin for for ceramic shops. There's not much.
I think there's a few that are
there's a few little basement shops here and there, but I'm guessing less than a dozen, even if you put everybody together. So it's pretty sad because there used to be probably 5 or 6 in Appleton and 5 or 6 in Green Bay, and they were all over. So we have our silver on our can and our silver on our little roof here, and I just want to make sure I have enough on it. Although it does seem like there is more interest in ceramics. I've had a lot of people coming out to the shop that are new people, never painted before, but they're doing a great job learning. So we have our silver on there, and now we're add white dots to her dress. So let's go to some white. Actually, I think we'll hold off on the white and do the black eyes, and then we can kind of get them all caught up. So let's go to black. So OS476 black, and we can paint the eyes. How are we doing on time? 8 o'clock, okay. So we're just going to paint our little black eyes here. And again, I just have a liner, so use a liner that you're comfortable with. And we're just going to outline the eyes.
I have a new liner coming.
Cordy says she's got a new liner coming. What are you getting?
I ordered those short handle ones you guys like.
Yeah.
I ordered another size.
Oh, so Cordy says she ordered a short handle liner in another size because everyone liked the other short handled one.
The brush length is just a touch longer.
So she says the bristles are longer?
I have it to show you.
Oh, she says she's got it to show me. So we're just painting in our black on our eyes here. Getting them nice and even. And we'll put this one aside and come back to the other one. So I kind of like to go back and forth with my same color, so I'm just kind of using like this color on both of them, and instead of finishing one and then starting back over with the colors. So I kind of batch paint them, I guess you could say. We're just going to paint his little eyeballs. So these are really cute little guys. We don't have the bigger, there's a bigger set of bunnies that go with these. We don't have them right now, but it's something I would like to add to our inventory at some point. Just painting out those black eyes. And if you get one a little bigger than the other, just go back and make the other one a little bit bigger so they're kind of similar in size. Okay, so we got our black on our eyes. That's what you got.
So this is the one that they ordered and liked.
Oh, so this, Cordy says this is one we had that everyone liked. It's the Majestic 20-0 liner.
A monogram.
Monogram liner, so you can see it's kind of a short little, good for eyelashes and things.
But everyone likes the handle.
But yes, everyone likes this short handle, and I did too.
And that's the one.
Oh, I like this one. So this is a 20-0 mini liner.
It's the same family, just different brush lengths.
You have different brush lengths. So this, the little short one is a monogram, and then this one is just a regular liner. So I actually like this one. But it's the nice short length. So you'll have both of these then?
Hopefully. If
Hopefully.
he was able to send them, yeah.
Yeah, so we're waiting for that shipment to come. So nice short-handled liners. I like this 20-0 long one here. I do like longer liners. That's just
It's
me.
not as long as... So this is the Royal Majestic, just for comparison.
Oh.
Like, it's not as long as that one.
Oh, this is the 4585. Is this, which one did they get in their box? The 4595, this one?
No, that's
No.
the same brush.
No, this is
Oh.
95 and this is 85. It's two different brushes.
Didn't know it.
Yeah. Two different brushes.
I don't know where that one came from then.
I
The
probably ordered, so this is the one you got on your box. I probably ordered that one to try it because I do like the longer liners. Okay, so we got our black in our eye. So Cordy will see your posts, like Paula put both of those short liners in her box. So Cordy will reply, and then you'll know that she's seen your comment. Otherwise, you can just message her too. So we got the eye. So now we need to add some white dots and some highlights here. So let's get some white. And we have OS 431 white. And then if you see other bisque or things that you want, like we can add those to your invoice too when we're invoicing. I think that's going to be next week already. We cover the shipping on it. I know a few ladies seen from the greenware picture Courtney posted. They seen a few things they wanted, so I'll be pouring that stuff, those angel cats and dogs. And so we're going to put a nice little comma in his eye. So I touch down and lift. So I touch down, pull, and lift. And then I'll put a dot at the very top of each one of those little eyes. And I'm doing that on the same side of each eye so he's not looking cross-eyed. And we'll set him aside. And now we'll do the same thing with her. Touch down and pull and lift. Touch down, pull, and lift, and you get that nice little comma. And then we just add a nice white dot at the top. And if you have your ball stylus, you can use that. That works too. And that's what I'm actually going to use to put the dots on the bottom of her. So I didn't put them on the bottom of her dress, but some of you guys have been posting, you put them on the bottom of the dress, so that's really cute. I just put them on her little collar and on her sleeve, but you can deck her out any way you like. So I just take my white and I take my ball stylus and I go into my white. And then I go straight down. And then you can put how big or little you want your little dots, and I tried to get them the same size. And then the ball styluses, that was in one of your boxes too, and I don't remember which one, but
January one from
January of last year. Yeah. But the ball styluses work really good for adding dots, and they came in a set of 3 there's different sizes in the sets, and we do have those too available if you need those. You just have to message us, and Courtney can add it to your invoice. So I'm just adding little white dots to her. Just kind of dress up her little dress here a little bit. But the ball styluses kind of help you get like the same size dots a little bit easier than doing it free-handed. So that's a nice little tool to have. So that's why we used one of the tools we added as an extra to the box. So let's see. Then the little, I painted the little rim on birdhouse here with the white too. That's not on the instructions. I must have done that afterwards and didn't write it down, just to add a little spark to the birdhouse, just to get it a little bit cheerful, more cheerful and bright looking instead of the brown. So we'll do that quick. So I'd like to draw, when I'm painting with my liner, draw that towards me instead of pulling it away from me. That just works a lot better. And then all our videos are saved on our video tab on our Facebook page. So if you go to the Facebook page, and underneath our picture there's like a bunch of tabs. They say about and groups, and that's where our Brenda's Brushstrokes group is. You have to request to join that.
It's free, like anybody.
But it's free and anyone can join it. But sometimes Courtney does little specials and announcements and things in there. And then there's a tab that says videos. So all our videos, all the way back from when we started, which was actually, was it May 2 years ago, when we did a practice run to like practice to get ready for our July box. So there's tons of videos on there. It goes back to almost it's 2 years worth. You can find color washing, how to color wash if you don't know how to color wash, how to make your color wash, because that's a product that used to be available that's no longer available. What else? We base coat on there. There's antiquing on there. There's, like, again, the chalks, the rub-on metallics. So you can, and those are saved, so you can always refer back to those. And then we did notice that some of the new people, for the April box, we had a fairy house last year. They did add the fairies to their box in the house. So last year we had a mushroom. And what was with the mushrooms, Courtney? The butterfly and the dragonfly? And the frog. So we've had people adding those two that didn't get those boxes last year. So if you want the bisque from those boxes, you can't get the boxes because we're out of the extras and things. But you can add the bisque from those boxes, and then you can go back and watch those videos and paint them. So if you found us late, or since we've done those, you can still get the bisque from us. And if Courtney can get them to fit in your box, they'll ship free. Otherwise, you can get a whole new box shipped for $9.99. And we have several ladies that do that. Some of them even get a couple boxes during the month for that $9.99 rate. So we have that done. So now here we have this big glob of orange on here, so we need to touch that up. Question? Okay.
Penny asked, what are the boxes you were talking about?
What is it?
What are the boxes you were talking about? Your Brenda's Bliss box.
What are they?
Yeah.
Oh, so.
She doesn't know what you're
Oh, okay. So we have a question of what are the Brenda's Bliss box. So the Brenda's Bliss box is actually a monthly subscription, and we ship different pieces each month. And they're like for I gotta think here, because so this was our March Brenda's Bisque box, and you got the bisque bunnies that we've been painting the last 4 Thursday nights, and then you also get instructions. The instructions of how I painted them come in that box. If there's the flyer, like these were Clay Magic bunnies, so you got the Clay Magic flyer. Let's see what else. You get an extra in your box every month. So this box, the first part of the year, like January through May or June, we do a product or a tool in our box that's like helps us do our painting. So our March box had this product called Thin and Shade, and you got the whole bottle of it. And we use that to thin our paint to do our our stripes on our plaid on our shirt. But you could also, if you're doing more detailed eyes, you can thin your eye colors, and you still have the same opaqueness to your paint. It doesn't make it more transparent, but it makes it a little thinner so that you can paint easier. The paint flows easier. You can also use this. It opens the time that the paint dries so it doesn't dry instantly. So if you're making flowers, you can like blend your colors better because it doesn't dry instantly. So it's a great product to have. So the bisque box is a box of bisque, and it has a certain value to it. And it has the typed instructions, the flyer, if we can get them flyer. Sometimes if it's a snow, depending upon the piece, you'll have extra little things in there, like when we did scarecrows, you had like little pieces of burlap and little Spanish moss. You can have glitter. It's like some of the little finishing touches for your pieces. Not the paint is not included, but the other little things can be included. Sometimes, like for our Christmas box, we'll include the clip light. So everything has a dollar value to it. The shipping has a value to it, and the extra item that goes in the box has a dollar value to it. And then our boxes are monthly. You can do a one-time purchase on brendasbrushstrokesandbisque.com, or you can do a subscription purchase. And then if you do the one-time purchase, you automatically get the current box, unless you say you want the next box. And then if you're a subscriber, you'll get the first box on the next month, unless you let us know that you want the current one we're working on. But then you would get an invoice then the following month on the 1st of the month, and you have till midnight on the 4th to pay your invoice. Or a little bit after, where we don't like cut you off at midnight. She doesn't, yeah, so, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of grace time in there. And then we start shipping your boxes on the 5th, which means wrapping them, getting everybody's extras into their boxes. The boxes are kind of like little Christmas gifts when you get them. They're wrapped up really cool, and there's usually a art quote on the top, and there's a little stickers on the outside. This is Brenda's Bisque box. It says, "Hello, I'm here." It's just a fun little bisque box to get. And then once you get it, then we start, usually the second week after it's shipped, we start painting what was in that box for that month. But each month kind of has a theme. March was the bunnies because they're kind of springy. April is our fairy houses, which we'll be opening that tonight. So if you sit tight with us tonight, you'll actually see when I open a box what's in the box and how that kind of comes and looks. And then we'll start painting that box next week, and it'll take about 4 times, and then it'll be to the next month, and then you can get invoiced for the next one. And so it's just a monthly box that ships for people that, and it's for anybody. It's not just for people that don't have access to shops, but that's kind of what started it. So that's, if you have any questions, you can always message us, and Courtney can answer any questions. So now we have to highlight his little ears and his little nose. So I'm going to get Azalea OS559, OS559. But we will be opening the April box here shortly, as soon as I get the little pink done on here. So I need a nice little dry brush. And I have kind of big dry brushes, so this is an 8. I'd probably use a 5. I'm going to go into my Azalea, brush that out really good. And I just want to put some on their noses, and then in their ears a little bit. And you don't want to get this pink too much, because once you spray seal it, it does get a lot darker, so you want to be careful with that. You could put it on their little cheeks if you wanted to, but I just put it inside their ears a little bit. So you can see there's just a hint of pink on there. And then we'll do the same thing to her here. Get a little bit on her nose and a little bit in her ears. And I'm just brushing real light just to get a nice little blushy pink in those ears, and then on her nose. If you want the nose even brighter, you can actually paint it on. So that's done. So now again, we got to go back to doing our little fix up here. So I'm just going to take one of my brushes and go into the white, and I just want to touch that up. And that may take a couple couple times, couple coats, so now you can still see the orange through that. So if you would just have to keep touching it up, and then I actually look her over, and I got pink on her here too. So you want to kind of touch anything up that's all slopped around like that. And that just happens, you get paint on your fingers or whatever, and then you end up with paint where you don't want it. So you would just keep building up that white. So that's covered up. Now here I got a little bit of the rust on the white too, so you just go back and you touch up your piece a little bit just to make it look really nice. I got blue over here on his white. So you just touch that up, and it'll probably take a couple coats. So I usually do one and then go back to the other one while one is drying. So that's looking pretty good. I would just let that and keep building that up a little bit. Then I did seal these guys with a aerosol matte sealer because I like my animals to have more of a flat finish. So that is our bunnies. They are complete for our March box. If you got Edward, he has painting instructions on Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bis.com under the Bis box, and then, or is it under the resources tab?
Free resources.
It's under the free resources tab. So he was painted green, so you can paint him any way you want, but there are free instructions online. If you have Edward and you wanted to paint him, if you don't have Edward, you can still add him to your next box. You just let us know. So let's move this stuff out of the way and let's do some show and tell here tonight quick. So let's get this paint out of the way. And then we will show you your May box, actually, or your April box, I'm sorry. May's not even here yet. But I can show you, again, May, because someone missed it. Get paint off of me. So for our May box that we're shipping like a week from Wednesday.
I'll start shipping May 5th. I won't be able to do everything in one day.
Yep, so we'll start shipping this guy on May 5th. So this is Boris and his toadstool. So you'll be getting the bisque for this guy. And that will be in the May box.
Oh, it's including that.
And along with that, you'll be getting the spoolie, which is a tool which has two different size brushes on it, so that'll be the extra in that box. And then you'll have your instructions and your flyer, so we can put that aside. And then if you want, you can add Hannah, Pappy, and Mortis. You could add one or all three, and you just have to message us, and Courtney will add that to your invoice when she invoices. So that's these guys. So it's kind of a cute little set. And then we have the welcome that kind of goes with this. If you want extra mushrooms, you can add extra mushrooms. So that is your May box. So now we will get back to our April box. So I need an April box. Oh. So this is what our April box is. It's the, what'd you call it? Be Happy, because our fairy house has bees on it. So I think this is kind of the front, because you can see the front of the bees. But if you turn it around, you see the bees' butts, but to me the door looks more like the front. So this is our Be Happy, our April box, and then you get Ava and Eva, the twin fairies. And the extra product in this box is white iridescent or metallic iridescent? White iridescent, and we painted that on the fairy wings, so there's like a little iridescent to it. And then we also put that on our bumblebee wings. So that is the extra product in that box. So you'll be getting white bisque, but these are the pieces that we'll be painting for our April box, and we will start that next week. So I can set those aside. So then your box will come, and when you open it, it'll be wrapped with paper with a sticker on it. And there's usually a container right at the top, a package. So it has your instructions in it. And if there's extras, there can be extras inside this as well. Yep, and then when we'll open all this up, but I just want to show you what the box looks like. So then your box will come and everything is labeled. we'll pull this stuff all out. And then a lot of times there's another extra little package in there. So Cordy takes care of all this for us because she don't like pouring and cleaning and firing and painting, but she's our wrapper and our shipper. So inside our extra little baggie here this time, let's see, I don't even know what we have, you guys. So we have some little rhinestones that we will be putting on our fairy wings, so that's an extra for your box. We have, this is our Mako Softies White Iridescent Pearl that we put on our wings, and so you have a whole bottle of this, and this is really a cool product because you can, it kind of makes things pearlescent. Some of you are used to the old pearlescent paints, and you can't get those anymore, but you can paint this over the top of your piece, or you can mix it in with them, with your paint, but I just put it over the top, and there's a nice little rainbow shine to the wings on our bees and on our fairy wings, so hopefully you can see that. There's just a nice little iridescent shine right over the wings, and that is from this bottle of white iridescent, which is the extra that we are giving you in your box. And then this is another little thing, and I'm not going to open this because it's kind of a little surprise, so I'm just going to let that. I don't want to ruin that. I can open it? Okay, so Cordy has a cute little flyer. It says, "Flowers always make people better, happier, and more helpful. They are sunshine, food, and medicine for the soul," by Luther Burbank. And then inside here we have some Cosmos flower seeds that you can throw in a pot or throw in your garden. Just a little fun extra for our April box. So you can have cut flowers and bring them in the house after. These things grow pretty fast and they're pretty easy, so it's just an easy.
I can grow them.
Cordy says she can grow them, anybody can grow them. So now do we have a scissors or a knife behind me? So this, your pieces come all nice and bubble wrapped. If you have a problem with something being broke, let us know, but Cordy's really good at wrapping anything, and we got to knock on wood because we've only had very few broken pieces over the last 2 years, so she's got them wrapped in there really good. So here is your bisque fairy house, and that's what we'll be painting. And it looks like a lot of work, but it's actually not that bad, so don't fret it. We'll get it. So there's no blue on these guys, and I'm a blue painter, so that's why Cordy says it's out of my box. But Mary and Cordy kind of suggested the colors. So there's no blue on that thing. Usually everything I paint has some kind of blue on it somewheres. And then we have our fairies inside here. So we have Ava and Eva. So you can see everything comes wrapped really well, and if you have any problems, you just message us and Courtney will take care of you right away. We had good luck with that. Looks like we're getting lots of hearts and thumbs up. That must mean that you guys like your April box. So you can see she's very generous with the paper so they don't get broke. So here's Ava and Eva. So we have our white bisque. All our bisque is fired to cone 04. So if you actually wanted to use underglaze or something else on it, you won't have any problems with that. So this is what our Ava and our Eva look like, all painted up. And then you'll have another package, which is the first one that's on top. You have your inventory sheet in there. And then if you open it up, we will find we have all kinds of goodies. We have our inventory sheet that has, like these are Clay Magic molds, so you can actually go on Clay Magic and look at their technique as well. We have the extras we included. You'll need a spray sealer or some glue and some glue to put your rhinestones on. We have the paint color list of all the colors that I used to paint the box. You're not obligated to use those colors, but that's totally up to you. So that is your inventory sheet. Then we have our Let's see here, our flyers from Clay Magic. So we purchased these to put in the flyers for you guys in the little package. So we have our bee house right here. And then on here we have a second flyer. So we have Ava and Eva, which are fuchsia flowers. So that's why we kind of did them in the pinks and the purples. And then along with that, we have our instructions for how I painted them. So here's our bee house instructions with the paint list. Here is our Ava, the sitting fairy, with her paint list and her instructions. And then we have Eva with her color list and her instructions. So it looks like we color washed everything. So you can color wash it or you can base coat it. And we will probably, I will have them color washed before we go on screen, just to save a little time because there's a lot of work with these guys. So if you need to know how to color wash, you can watch one of our other videos. Or you can take, it's basically 50% paint and 50% water and mix it in a little container. Paint it on a 3x3 area and then sponge it off and then and use black. So it's black, like a tablespoon of black paint and a tablespoon of black water. Mix it up, paint it on an area like 3x3, wipe it off with a damp sponge, and then work your way all the way around so you have a nice even coverage. And same with your two girls, and that is where we will start next week. If you have trouble, you don't know what to do, you can always message us and we can, maybe I'll have to make up some color wash instructions separately. We should actually do a video just for that at some point when we have free time. Huh? Yeah, we color washed them. Oh, we can color wash one now, Courtney says. Let's do that real quick. And that way you'll be ready for next week. So we'll need some black paint. You'll need a sponge. And color washing is kind of messy. So you may want to put gloves on. I usually don't. So I can use this bowl of water. Yeah, but I need a little container. Okay, that's perfect. So you're going to want about a good tablespoon of paint and a tablespoon of water, but I just kind of guess it. And you can make a whole batch of this and put it in a bottle or a container, like a baby food jar, and you can save it. And so we're going to use about the same amount of black. So I guess I'll be color washing these when I'm done, so they're ready for next week. Okay, so then I'm going to take my palette knife and stir this up. So it'll kind of be like inky consistency. So it's a product that used to be available called Color Wash. Yeah, or you can base coat them black, whichever one you want to do. So this is just our black, 50% paint and 50% water. And it don't take a whole lot. Let me get some paper towel here. And then I just take a nice nylon brush. And we'll do a little area at a time, because if you do too much, it's going to dry. So we're just going to color wash these quick. So you just kind of slop it on there. Basically, it's not a pretty. There's nothing pretty about it. You just slop it on. Get down in all your little crevices so you don't have any white. And you do about a 3x3 area. Then I'm going to take my bowl of water here that I had just that little bit of paint in, but that's okay. I'm going to take a damp sponge, wring that out pretty good. And now we're going to wipe this off so we kind of get the black off the high spots and just leave it down in the crevices. So now that, because I wasn't ready here with my sponge, it kind of dried kind of quick. So that's why you don't want to do too much at once. So we're just color washing this, kind of letting the black down in the crevices and getting the high spots wiped later. It just takes less dry brushing then to build up your color. So we'll do the next area. And I won't do too much so that it dries on me too much. You kind of want to wipe across the grains. So you can see it's leaving the black a lot down in the deep areas and taking it off on the high areas. So we'll just do that real quick here on each one. And then if your sponge isn't taking any color off, you can wring it out. You can see you don't want to do too big of an area at one time, because it just dries really quick. And if it's not even, that's okay. It's not a big deal. It just takes a little more to dry brush it. Because they get ugly before they get pretty. So the painted samples look just like this. They were just as ugly until we got them dry brushed. So I'm just slopping that on there all over. Nothing fancy. Getting it on all the little crevices. And then wiping across it. Letting it down in those the deeper crevices. And if you start out and you didn't, you wipe too much, you can always go back and add some more black and then re-wipe it again so it's not as white. And I do the bottoms as well. And we'll just wipe across here. And it just makes the dry brushing goes just a little bit easier because it's not completely black. So if you get a white spot like that, you can just put the black back over it and kind of leave it. I kind of wiped too hard there. So she's done. So we can do the other one quick. I guess we'll just do all of them quick and then it's done. And then if you can do this before Thursday, your dry brush colors will stick a lot easier instead of doing it right away, instead of dry brushing right after doing it. I usually like to do this a day ahead of time or a couple hours ahead of time, but if I don't have time, I don't. It's not written in stone that you have to. But it's nice if you can let that color wash or your base coating dry before you start dry brushing. So you can see it is kind of messy. So that was a lot lighter there than the rest of it, so I just put a little bit of black back on it. Make sure you get on all them little crevices so you don't have the little white fleas, specky spots that are going to really show up when you're dry brushing. And then we just flip her around. So you can see I don't do the whole thing at one time and then come back and wipe it. I do just little areas at a time just to keep that more of an even wipe. So we're just color washing these quick for you guys tonight so that way you know how to get started and then they can dry for next week. And then I won't have to get here and think, oh crap, I didn't color wash them. Because we know Courtney's not going to paint them and color wash them. That's why she wanted me to do it. She don't want me to call her and tell her to color wash them. Alright, so here she is. She's all color washed, kind of wiped on the high areas. So she's ready. And from there we'll go to our house. And we'll just do another little area at a time. Bring out my rig here because it was getting kind of black, and then just wipe. So it's probably a little easier to see on this bigger piece. And then when it does run, you kind of do want to go back and wipe that, brush it out and wipe it. Otherwise it will be darker where it ran on you. So we have a question of why color washing versus base coat. I actually prefer base coating because it's not as messy. But because the bisque isn't so black, it's just dark down in the crevices, it doesn't take as much dry brushing to build up the color, so that's kind of why the color washes versus the base coating. It's kind of a personal preference thing. Cordy says it goes faster. I don't know if it's really faster. I guess it kind of is. It is faster. Yeah, it is faster. Yeah, you don't have as many fleas to go back, which fleas are those white spots. to go back and pick up. And you do not have to only color wash with black. You can color wash with any color that makes you happy. I like to do snowmen with navy or a blue, turquoise, or purple. I like to do animals with the black. Let's see what other colors. Anything that's kind of Eastery and springy, I like to do more of the mocha, a lighter, like a medium brown. So the black is just so dark with the pastel colors, so I don't care for the black with the pastel springy colors. Although this just has lots of nice rich colors on it, so the black kind of really brings those colors out. Versus like the Easter bunny colors, the peaches and the baby blue, they look better with a brown underneath them than a black. So it's kind of all personal preference, but it definitely does not have to be black. Some people think that color wash is always black. It can be any color that fits what you're doing. And when I color wash, I usually do a whole ton of things. That way they're all done at one time. And if you do have different, like now this dried here before the others did, and that's fine. That's still going to color wash okay, or dry brush okay. So I'm just going to work my way around here.
So you could actually color wash any piece for prep instead of base coating?
So we have a question. You can actually color wash any piece to prep instead of base coating. Pretty much, really, yeah. Unless you're like, you want it to be a painted piece, like, say you're going to put the rub-on metallics on it, you're probably going to want to base coat that instead of color washing it, because you're going to want more of a solid coverage underneath that. So your metallic covers better. If you're doing chalks, you're probably going to want to do a base coat instead of a color wash. So not always. It kind of depends on what you're going to do. But I would say for most dry brushing, you can do a color wash instead of base coating. But you can see, like, color washing is very dirty. Your hands end up all black, all discolored, and that's the only drawback that I don't like about it. Because I'm gonna have ugly hands now for a few days. But that's fine. Like Cordy said, you can wear gloves. I just usually don't, because my hands are usually in something filthy anyway. We do have gloves at the farmhouse if you're there and you're color washing, so just ask. And if you're at home watching us, feel free to use gloves too, because I know, like, if you're a nurse or whatever profession you're in, you may not want to have completely gross hands like I have right now, because it is going to stain them. They're not going to come completely clean. That's kind of the biggest drawback with color washing, but you can wear gloves, and that kind of cures that. So it's a 1-to-1 water to paint, so we're 50-50, so it's equal parts water to paint. So a tablespoon of water to a tablespoon of paint, a teaspoon of paint to a teaspoon of water, and it don't have to be exact. If you're off a little, it's not a big deal. It should, the right texture, so when I put this on here, you can see it's running. If it isn't running, it probably needs to be just a little bit thinner. That's kind of the good part of it, is because it is a little thinner, you get rid of those little flea white spots down in something that has lots of texture to it, and you don't have to, like, base coat for hours and hours to get all those little fleas covered up. So Cordy would probably like it for that. But Cordy's not going to paint, so we don't got to worry about that. So that's what she tells me anyway. So you can see how that ran. Like, that's the right consistency when it runs, just that little bit. You don't want it running a lot, but if it runs just a little bit, you got the right consistency. If it doesn't run at all, it probably needs to be a little bit thinner, and you can just add a drop of water. You really can't go wrong with it. Cordy says I'm getting out of the screen here. I kind of got water all over, so.
Do you need paper towel?
No, I'm fine. It's just the bowls and.
And then the same.
And you can save your color wash, just put it in a container. As long as it's like a, you can like screw it down and seal it, like save one of your old paint bottles, or if you have like a baby food jar or any little plastic container that has like a screw on top. And it's good until it dries up, but as long as you have it in a screw on top, it lasts for a long time. I actually I use pint jars to put mine in because I make a big batch at a time. So you can see we're getting there. So we'll come over to this side. The biggest thing is you just don't want to do too big of an area at one time, because then you can't, it won't wipe off. It's going to dry on you. So we have a question of what type of brush is the best for color washing. Any nylon or natural hair, like a sable, any painting brush. You don't want to use those boar bristle brushes. Those are for dry brushing. I just have a nylon painting brush here. This is a flat one, about a 1/2 inch. So it kind of depends upon the size of your piece too. Like that, like a 1/2 inch is good. So now you can see this one's a lot lighter than this down here. So I'm actually going to put a little more back on and let that sit just for a minute. So it's just a little more even. Yep, pickle jars and any little container you can screw a top onto. But like I said, I usually mix like a whole pint worth at a time. So now I can wipe this a little lighter, so it's not like pure white like it was there for a minute. And then as you get going, your paint kind of builds up in your brush. So if something is too white, you can go back and kind of wipe it even just with the sponge. But you really, the white is fine because we're gonna dry brush it. It's mainly to get that black down in those crevices. And then I do my bottom as well. And so now I missed my little mushrooms over here. So we'll come and get those. And we'll just wipe them a little bit. And we got a little spot here I missed. So that is color washing. And that is going to be ready for next week for us to start dry brushing. See it, and then you just want to look it over to make sure you don't have any white spots, which that's what I'm doing right now. There was one down in between the flower and the house. There's one right here. You have a lot less fleas with the color washing because the paint is a little thinner and it just runs and gets into all them little crevices a lot easier. So you can color wash it or you can base coat it. It really doesn't matter. So there we are with our... So there's a little white spot there. I just want to get a little more black on there. Just kind of make it kind of even. So there we have our stuff all color washed and ready for next week. So here's our two girls. Now she's kind of got a lot of white on her face compared to the rest of it. So I'm just going to put a little bit more back on her. Make sure it'll just dry brush easier that way if it's more of an even shade. The back is fine. And look for her for any little white fleas too. And these guys will be ready to paint next week. So that is color washing for your April box. And now you can see how gross my hands are, but that's color washing. So that is about it for tonight, I think. Oh, do you want me to show them the snails or not? Yeah, my hands are pretty dirty. I probably shouldn't. Courtney's going to do it. So we have one more little show and tell thing here. Dump all this water together. We'll put this over here. Put these guys over here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that mess making. So then our class that we're going to have May 2nd at the classroom is for this, I think it's a 9 or 11 inch snail. Scioto. So we will have the bodies done with the crystal glaze, and then we are going to mosaic the shell part of it. And Courtney will be creating the sign up for that to reserve your spot. You'll have to pay online at Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque. And then I don't have the small sample mosaiced yet, but we do have the next size snail is mosaiced. So we will be putting stained glass on them, and then they will be grouted. And that's all included in that class. So it's kind of for our local people more than anything. And this is it's bigger than the class size one. But the bodies will be ready, and all they'll have to do is we'll show them how to cut the glass, and we'll have glass already cut too, and we'll glue that on with silicone, and then we will grout them, and then they'll go home with sealer. So that will be our May 2nd class. It's a Sunday from 1 to 4. So you can watch for that to get posted. Courtney has to create all that.
But this is the size.
But this is the size of the snail that we will be doing. So if you're local and you want to do that, Courtney will post it once she has the posting created, and you can go and sign up. So they have crystal glazes.
The body's all different.
We have different body colors. There's a green one, there's a brown one, there's a pastel one. So there'll be 3 of each color to pick from, and there's 5 colors to pick from. So, and then once you learn that, you can get more snails and make more. So that's kind of for our local ladies. And hopefully at one point I'll be able to video record that, and we can have an online class too, kind of a specialty thing. But this is our next box that we will be painting next week. And so when you are color washing, you want to move all your other pieces so you don't get them slopped full of black paint like I did. So Courtney says we have a question.
Okay, so why not dry brush, but just paint and then keep the whole piece with translucent?
So we have a question about why not paint it and then antique it with translucents. That's an option too. We've done that. I'm not sure what we're doing next month, but that's just another way of doing that. You can certainly do that. I don't prefer that. He was antiqued and then dry brushed. The thing is, when you antique it with the translucents, or if you antique it with your color wash, you lose that true color that you had. It actually it gets down in the crevices, but it also darkens your piece altogether. It's not the true bright color, so that's a personal preference thing, but you can certainly do that, and we've done that before in classes too. I don't remember offhand which one it was. I think a snowman probably. Our May box, this guy we actually gotta think I painted him and parts of him, and then he was color washed, and then he was antiqued, and then he was dry brushed again with those same colors, and that's kind of how the Clay Magic instructions show him. But that does dull those colors when you do antique or color wash over them, and then yeah, he was ugly just antiqued. I think if we have a color, Courtney, or a picture, she might have it, she could post the difference. But there is a difference in the brightness of your colors if you do your antiquing with your translucents last, and that's an older technique, and it certainly is acceptable. It's just another way to do things. But this will be our May box, so you guys can watch for your invoices next week for that.
Instructions can be purchased for the snail. You'll probably do a class at some point.
So we have a question if instructions can be purchased for the snail. I think I'm actually going to try to do a online class with that you'll be able to pay for it and then have access to the video and the instructions, and you may even you'll be able to get the small snail. He's shippable. Maybe we'll be able to do like a whole kit of glass in the grout.
I'm not sure about shipping the grout and the sealer.
So the grout is a powder. That shouldn't be a problem. We probably wouldn't be able to ship the sealer that we use. You'd have to get your own grout and tile sealer. So we're going to try to put together like a kit in a class for that. But that's down the road. This is just kind of a class for the local ladies. We need to order slip and clay, and it's just a money raiser for us in a class for our local ladies. But we're going to try to get it online as well, so we'll just give us some time, because it's been a really busy year. I have a storage unit that we got a second storage unit, and we need to get the last 3 truckloads of molds into the new storage unit so we can find what we even have. And getting the stuff out of my garage so I can get stop pouring in my dining room and living room, because that's where I'm actually pouring right now. So it'll be a little while, but those kinds of things are coming for you guys online as well.
The penny that asked what I'm taking, she said she's terrified of dry brushing.
Oh yes. Oh, don't be terrified of dry brushing. It's super easy. You can there's lots of older videos. Just go and watch them, and if something ends up really terrible, you can paint it black and start over. That's fine too. Don't be afraid of it. If you get a box, just follow along with us, and you can always message me send a picture like, oh man, this looks terrible. I don't know what I'm doing, or can you help me? I've had people do that more than once, and I've helped them, and they're happy afterwards. So we're happy to help you guys, to help learn, because I know there's no shops out there, and I've been doing it for 40 years. So I mean, I don't claim to know everything. I don't know everything, but I do know quite a bit, and just want to share what I do know to keep ceramics going, and trying to make a living at it now too. So dry brushing's not hard. It's just a matter of not using a lot of paint in your brush at one time. But you can do it. So my husband is joining me with this April box, and he's never dry brushed before. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's not hard. It just takes time, and I never really had a teacher. I just kind of learned on my own, and I learned that the hardest part was learning like how much paint, like when to stop, and I didn't have enough paint, and that's why things were ugly. And so that's where you always hear me saying a little bit more, a little bit more. That's why the sign is on the wall at the classroom, because they hear it all the time. But you're really just using that black, or your base coat, or your wash it's only really left down in the crevices for your shading. And then you use layers and layers of color to make your pieces have lots of dimension and shape to them. So go ahead and watch some of our older videos. They're all there. They're saved. They're free. Hopefully you guys join us and you're enjoying it. Give us the thumbs up or the hearts that you're enjoying what we're doing, and we'll keep at it. So thanks for joining us this week, and we'll look forward to working on our Avas and our Evas and our stuff next week.
Watching the replay, I want something, send me a message.
So Courtney says if you're watching a replay and you need something or you have a question, just send a message. Courtney goes through the message, and then she lets me know, oh, she's got a technical question. Can you help her out? And I take care of that part. It's hard to find. Sometimes the comments don't always show up, and we don't always see them, especially on the older videos.
So send a message.
So just send a message then. Hey, I watched whatever video about whatever, and I don't understand that part, or can you tell me how to do that? Or here's a picture of my piece. What am I doing wrong? We're more than happy to help. That's what we're here for, and that's what we're here for. We're here every Thursday. It's going on 2 years. And we're going to keep being here. So we enjoy you guys, and it seems like you're enjoying us. So we'll be here, and we'll be here next week. So have a great week, you guys. Enjoy spring, and see you next week. Bye.